On Gene Felton. Vern travels very light. He has, in some races, he has a crew of about 2. He may pick up 1 or 2 persons at whatever circuit they're at. And these guys help each other. A couple of races back, he cut a tire, had to come into the pits, and Craig Carter's crew helped him change the tires. They changed 3 of the 4. The one they didn't change 2 laps later went flat. But there is a considerable amount of back and forth helping of one another in this and almost every kind of racing. Here goes Felton again. Again, they're wheel to wheel. Oh, he took him with ease that time.
You can see the effect of drafting. You can get behind that car and it'll suck you right along. Gene is able to draft him, but after he goes by, he can't get away.
They're going to go at it like this for the whole 45 minutes, I suspect. So what a finish we are going to see. Felton's car running very, very strong. Now that's interesting.
Yep.
I didn't think that could be done side by side through that turn. I know it can't be done through the hairpin. And they are coming up on Paul Gentilossi in an Aspen. Should catch him here in this chute in the S's before the next turn. Maybe not. Two Camaros just going at it.
Paul moves over to the outside, lets the 2 guys go by on the inside. He doesn't want to mess up that race.
They can't draft on the slow section of the course. Drafting just isn't a factor. They're not going fast enough. Look at Smith bend the back end of that thing around. And here comes Felton again. Now Felton's closer to him coming off there than he had been before. This is just power. That wasn't a draft. That was just power getting off the turn. Got the better bite, and here comes Smith. And there goes Felton.
You know, Bob,
and here's Smith.
If this race stays like this, you're going to see 2 guys in the victory circle with grins from ear to ear, because this is what the guys come here for. This to them is a lot of fun. They're going fast. It's a little bit scary, but because they're race car drivers, they like this. This is great.
Just over 25 minutes remaining in this Kelly American Challenge at Pocono International Raceway. Little bumper tag. Here comes Smith. There goes Felton. Across start finish and into the first turn. They call that the oval turn at Pocono. Smith seems to be able to ride a much lower line through there, Bergie.
Well, I'm not so sure if there's a difference in handling or he's just trying to see where he can go. Remember, he's thinking ahead now about how Gene's car's handling. He's trying to size him up. Gene, when he's behind Vern, will try and size him up, because the race, if it stays like this, it gets down to the last 2 laps. Who can pass who? At that time, they forget about being friends.
That is really bad. And here comes Vern Smith again. Across the stripe, side by side into the oval turn. Sounds like something to drink. And Smith takes back first place. Vern Smith out in front of Felton again. These guys are ramping around like a couple of puppies.
Well, as Vern said a little bit earlier, if you can lead through turn 1 onto the infield, you're probably going to hold that lead all the way through the infield onto the oval. The trick is when you get on the oval, you've got to get enough lead so you can't allow the other guy to draft and then pass back on the oval.
And Felton seems to get off the last turn onto the tri-oval section with a little bit more bite than Vern Smith does. Felton seems to come off there quicker as he tucks his front end underneath the little spoiler in the back of Vern Smith's Camaro. And they are now out of the tri-oval. A little wiggle, a little fan dance there by Gene Felton. That cost him maybe a tenth. And now they go onto the bank portion. That's about 15-degree banking there. Smith in front, Felton, Tommy Riggins, Bob Overby, and Craig Carter. The battle continues at Pocono International Raceway between Vern Smith and Gene Felton. This time across the line, it is Felton. And we are now just over halfway through the 45-minute race. Vern Smith and Felton have taken turns leading since the race began. There have been no incidents in the race. A good, safe, careful, and fast drive by this field of American sedans. The Kelly American Challenge, a series which is growing both in its competitive aspects, its acceptance by the motor racing community, and I guarantee you by the fans. This is what racing is all about. Going at it wheel to wheel. Good, clean, hard racing.
You mentioned something just a few minutes ago, Bob, that I'd like to elaborate on. Whenever two cars are driving that close at these speeds, you have to really know the guy you're racing against. Both these guys have raced against each other, and you have to have respect for the other driver. You would not do this with an individual you didn't know or somebody maybe that had just started racing. You just get to know the other driver's moves, and you know he's not going to do anything stupid that's going to cause you a problem or him a problem.
Motor racing's versions of Who Do You Trust? This is remarkable. If you were with us when we brought you the Kelly American Challenge from Lime Rock, that's Tommy Reagan's third place runner, you may recall Smith had to come into the pits, change a tire, got back out, and just managed to nip Carter at the wire for reasons we'll explain a little later on. Here we go again, side by side. And one of these guys will come away with a barrel of money. Felton and Vern Smith across the stripe one more time. We have about 17 minutes remaining in the race. Felton in the purple and white Camaro, and Smith's all white. Both of these guys do almost all of their own work in preparing the cars, and obviously they do all their own work at racing them in. Quite a job at that. A beautiful setting for a motor race on a beautiful day. It's breezy, but the breeze will not affect these cars. They're so heavy they just... Round-faced, smiling guy. Happy man. Doing what he loves to do the most. As the battle for first continues, and again, Smith has closed down on him. Smith very obviously has power, even when he's not drafting, to move in on Felton.
The only thing is, though, Bobby, he's back a little ways here. This is the furthest he's been back in about 5 or 6 laps. Now, I noticed he did not lose any distance on the tri-oval, but he lost a fair amount of distance on the infield that last lap. Let's see if she can salvage a few points. She's running third in the series right now.